Before we begin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional and heart-touching stories. It was a quiet Sunday morning, and a young boy named Ryan sat near the window of his small room. The soft sunlight fell on his face, but his eyes looked lost and lonely. He was only 10 years old, yet his heart felt much older. His mother, Grace, worked day and night to give him a good life, but she could never fill the empty space in his heart. Ryan's father had left when he was just 3. He never called, never wrote, and never came back. Grace never spoke much about him. She only said softly, "He was not the right man for us." But Ryan didn't understand what that really meant. At school, other kids often talked about their fathers. They shared stories about how their dads played football with them or helped with homework. Every time Ryan heard them, his chest tightened. He wished he had someone to call Dad. One afternoon, while walking home, he saw a man helping a little boy fix his bicycle. The man smiled kindly, placed his hand on the boy's head, and said something that made the child laugh. Ryan stood there for a moment, watching quietly, his eyes full of unspoken pain. When Ryan reached home, he asked his mother again about his father. Grace stopped cooking for a moment, took a deep breath, and said, "Ryan, not every father is a good one. Sometimes the wrong people give us pain instead of love." Her voice trembled, and Ryan could see the tears she tried to hide. He didn't ask more questions that night, but he kept thinking about what she said. Days turned into weeks, and one evening, a stranger knocked at their door. Grace opened it and froze. Ryan watched from behind her as a tall man with tired eyes stood outside. "Grace," he said softly, "I came to see my son." Ryan's heart began to race. Was this his father? The man smiled weakly at him. "Hi, Ryan," he said. "I've missed you." Grace's face turned pale. "You lost that right long ago," she said coldly. The man looked guilty and lowered his eyes. After a long silence, Grace told Ryan to go to his room, but he didn't. He stood still, confused, looking between them. "Mom," he whispered, "is he my dad?" Grace nodded slowly, but said, "He was once, but he's not the right one for us anymore." Ryan didn't understand. The man reached out his hand, but Grace stepped forward and said firmly, "You hurt us once, and I won't let that happen again." The man said he had changed, that he wanted to make things right. But Grace's eyes were full of the strength that comes from years of pain. "Love is not about words," she said. "It's about what you do." The man left quietly that night. Ryan ran to his mother and hugged her tightly. "It's okay, Mom," he said softly. "You don't need to cry." Grace kissed his forehead and whispered, "I just wanted you to have a better father." Ryan looked at her and said, "I already do. You are my father and mother both." From that day, something changed in Ryan. He stopped waiting for someone to return. He started helping his mother more, studying harder, and smiling again. He realized that family isn't about who leaves, but about who stays. Grace may not have given him a father's hand, but she gave him something stronger, a mother's heart full of courage and love. Years later, when Ryan became a young man, he thought often about that night. He understood that his father's return wasn't what he needed. It was his mother's strength that built his world. Grace had shown him that sometimes losing the wrong person is the best thing that can happen. One evening, he sat by his mother as she read a book. "Mom," he said softly, "you were right. Not every father is a good one." Grace smiled and touched his hand. "And not every loss is bad," she replied. They both laughed gently, feeling the peace that only truth can bring. Ryan had finally learned that love doesn't always come from the people who give us life. Sometimes it comes from those who stay, protect, and never stop believing in us. The wrong father may have left, but the right kind of love never did. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories